everyone, welcome to the Storyist. Sometimes we get so tempted by the things that we want but don't have that we often forget what we really need is already with us. Today, I will be telling you a story about a daughter who catches her dad having an affair with their maid. What the dad does next will definitely shock you. Stay until the end of the video to find out what happened. Richard is a well-known attorney. He has been rich all his life, and never did he experience not having enough to waste on the things that he wanted. When he was still in college, he dated almost all the most influential women in their university. He was popular back then for being rich and good-looking, and he is still popular in his law firm until today because of the same reasons. After he graduated from law school and started his life as a lawyer, he would often spend his nights inside a pub. He used to drink there almost every weekend and waste money on gambling and alcohol. But all that changed when, one night, a new bartender entered the pub. Everybody wanted to talk to the new bartender and win her heart because she was pretty, tall, and had dark, long hair. Everybody wanted her attention, and Richard wanted it too. From his pub visits every weekend, he then started to visit more often. Sometimes he would be there every night, trying to compete with all the men in the pub to just catch a glimpse of her. This went on for months until finally, Richard scored a date with her. The simple date turned into a few more, and then eventually, they finally started dating. The old Richard, who loves picking up girls, suddenly vanished and had been replaced by the loyal Richard, whose eyes were only for his love. The two hit it off pretty quickly, and then after 2 years of dating, Richard finally popped the question. She got everything that Richard ever needed for a life companion. Apart from her outside beauty, she was also beautiful within. She always took care of Richard in sickness and in health. She prepared lunch for him every day. She cleaned his home. She made his bed. And she stayed late at night with him every time he needed to study a case. She supported him and molded him to someone even better. And everyone saw that. A year after their marriage, they were finally blessed with a little girl. They named her Ella. And she was the most beautiful girl that Richard had ever laid eyes on. He felt so lucky and blessed that he had his wife as the mother of his child. And not anyone else, because if he didn't, Ella wouldn't look as beautiful as she does. 15 years later, Ella has now become a beautiful teenager. She is always the muse of their class. She always gets chosen to play princesses or fairies during class plays. And Richard can never be more proud of her. He always boasts how beautiful his daughter is in his office, and tells them how good his genes are. His wife, however, has become wrinkled and old-looking. As those 15 years had passed, her face that used to be young and beautiful has vanished, and has been replaced by paleness and has aged a lot. Richard's wife doesn't seem happy. She often locks herself inside her room and won't talk to anyone until it's time to prepare meals for the family. They have a maid to do all the chores she is supposed to. So, having no job to busy herself with, she just shuts herself in her room. She used to be very energetic and cheerful, but now she just shuts everybody out. No one knows why. One day, at Ella's school, there's an earthquake that threatens everybody. Fearing for the students' safety, the school principal orders them to go home early. Because of this, Ella goes home a few hours earlier than Richard expected. Ella is meaning to call her dad about going home early, but she thought he might be busy, so she goes home alone instead. As she enters their front door, Ella is shocked to see their housemaid on top of her father, kissing him. She drops her bag in surprise, and it catches her father and the maid's attention. Her father immediately buttons up his shirt while trying to explain to Ella. But Ella is a teenager now, and she knows exactly what her father is doing, and that is cheating on her mother. Ella threatens her father that she will tell her mother if he doesn't break ties with the maid. But Richard has already made his decision. "You need to get out of the house, now," Richard tells Ella. Ella is so shocked to hear that her father is willing to give her and her mother up just for their maid. She waits for a few minutes before getting out of the house, just in case her father needs some rethinking first. But when Richard does not utter another word, she voluntarily leaves the house with her belongings. She calls her mother, who is visiting her grandmother at that time, to not go back to their home because of what happened. Ella's mother does not seem to be shocked at all, and instead, she orders Ella to go to her parents' house. Time passed by, and Richard is living the best time of his life. He is finally feeling a lot younger again. The maid he is having an affair with is 25 years old, and is making him feel a lot younger and more energetic. He even brags this to his colleagues at work, like it is some prize he won after cheating on his wife and sending his daughter out. He never even bothers to call his family since he sent them away, but it was only fun while it lasted. A few months went by and the maid kept on spending his money lavishly, buying things she didn't really need. In just a year, he found himself submerged in debt and couldn't even pay for the mortgage of his own house. Then, when everything was crashing down, his former maid left him for another rich man. He was so devastated and he had no idea how to start again. One day, while walking down the street, Richard sees Ella in a bookstore. He is surprised because he hasn't seen her in a year. So, excitedly, he enters the store and meets Ella. When Ella sees him, she is not surprised nor happy. She doesn't even say a word to her father. Then, a beautiful lady in her 40s comes walking towards Ella. "Ella, let's go," says the woman. Ella holds the woman and says, "Sure, Mommy." Hearing this, Richard realizes that the beautiful and young-looking woman standing in front of him is actually his ex-wife. Turns out, after their breakup, his wife focused on taking care of herself again. She tells him that she started losing interest in her own image when Richard started looking at other girls, and saying she was old and boring, and belittling her for not having a job. Since then, she started shutting herself inside her room, thinking how everything ended like it did. But there was one thing Richard did not realize when he sent his family away. His wife had always been the one with him during his low times. She is the brains behind his success, and the only reason why she never took a job is because she wants to fully take care of Ella. That's when Richard remembers how blessed and lucky he is for his wife and daughter. And now, he has thrown it all away. He asks his family to come home, but they refuse, saying that they are actually doing better without him. Richard realized that he had everything he ever needed and wanted, but lost it all chasing for something that wouldn't even last. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and we'll see you on the next.